Walt Disney World Resort and Festival Disney. In respect for our next performance, please turn off all cell phones at this time. We also request that you refrain from using flash photography and video lighting during the performance. Thank you. We would now like to take a moment to introduce our distinguished panel of Festival Disney adjudicators. Dr. William Powell, Professor of Music and Director of Choral Activities at Auburn University. Dr. Kathleen Shannon, Retired Associate Professor of Music and Director of Choral Activities at West Virginia University. And Dr. Russell Robinson, choral composer, arranger, and Emeritus Professor of Music Education at the University of Florida.
And please welcome to our Festival Disney stage from Lee's Summit, Missouri, under the direction of Amy Krinke, Katie Fisher, and Jacob Lowery, the Lee's Summit West High School Advanced Treble Choir.
Deep in the story that I'm writing. See, the soul is never ending, everlasting, everlasting, and you know what's on the heaven. You get the God message, and the aim is the lesson. But it's the message, and the messages are festering, softening our hearts and entrenching all the people. We do this in the street and underneath the steeple. Rather talk the talk, but the young ones want to walk. They're crawling in the dark, but my voice is a joy. Drink the milk, eat the meat, falling at the Savior's feet. The sinners take a peek, everybody take a peek at the heart of the matter. He's the King of the Kings. Married to the church, I got the Lord of the Rings. Gold streets where I'm dancing, body got mansions, beauty in God's dimension. What do you fathom? Hey, you're the story to grow. Hey, so it's time to go. Hey, hey, you're the story to grow. Love and light, so it's time to go. Hey, hey, you're the story to grow. Love and light, so it's time to go.
Well, good morning. How is everybody? You look good to me. Congratulations. I'm Kathleen Shannon, and it's my privilege to stand up here and talk to you a little bit, give you a few ideas. Perhaps we'll try some things, but these are three really good conductors. You are really lucky to have them. Is to play the djembe and get, yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing, yeah. Congratulations, really. So this is just a snapshot. Every performance is just a snapshot. And, you know, how did you feel about that? Was it the best you've done? Maybe on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being down, what do you think? A 3? Oh my God, what is a 5?
We were at Universal Studios yesterday.
I may have detected that in the rap. Where's our rapper? Yes, but where are you? Oh, sorry. Everybody's pointing, and I didn't know who you were pointing at. Yeah, I heard it, but you didn't let that foil you in terms of energy. Really, really good. Well, since we're talking about this piece, let's start. All right, now, my main suggestion is when you sing this well, you must help the audience to enjoy the music as much as I think you are enjoying it, but I can't tell. I was just going to ask your teachers if they've ever said that. And you know, you almost have to get, even when you're in an ensemble, you almost have to have like a third eye that you can see what you look like, or even, I know that for some reason, I did this all the time with my brush, and I was singing Barbara Streisand, although you don't even know who that is, in my, my mirror at home. But the point I'm trying to make is you must know what you look like. And when you're doing a piece that's this exciting, you've got to. And while I'm at the physicality, this is a whimsical piece, isn't it? Yeah, and honestly, you had this, most of you had a straight expression on your face. So that's one thing that will bump it up a notch. There could be a little eye, you might want to bat your eyes, when you're talking about who's kissed you and all of that. I'm saying that there's more that you can do that is interpretation, expressivity, that is beyond the notes and the rests. And that's the hardest thing to do. It truly, truly is. And we must do that. But let's go back to some musical things. There aren't very many. This is awesome, but my suggestion is, or my question really is, should every verse sound the same? No. What are some things you can do to make the verses different? Ma'am? Dynamics, and can anybody flesh that out a little bit more? There are no dynamic changes written in the music. So how do I know what to do? Yes, ma'am? Articulation is one thing, yeah, but let's go about with the dynamics. Now, of course, your teacher is going to be leading this, and if you sing too softly or sing too loudly, he will let you know, I'm quite sure. But could we pick any? Where's
The second one.
I was just gonna.
I'm gonna send you 2 by 2.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna send you 2 by 2 for, and you can do a little bit more on your face with but with the dynamics. And what should be the loudest in that whole line of numbers, would you say, ma'am?
That last 10.
Yeah, and then that goes right into the refrain, right? So even though there are no dynamic markings changes within that line, your musicianship tells you, right, that you need to build that. Do you want to try that? Let's try it.
Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but when we're in unison, it always sounds louder, right? So everybody needs to back down there. Let's say we're going to start at mezzo piano. So your mezzo piano at unison has got to be softer than your mezzo piano singing on the stage by yourself, right? Okay, let's try it. Same thing.
Children, go where I send thee.
But energy.
How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send thee 2 by 2, 2 for Paul and Silas.
What?
1 for the little baby, wrapped in swaddling clothing, laid down in a manger. That's born in Bethlehem.
Good. Now each one of those borns has to grow too. Born. Everybody's got to do that. If you have a long notes are not stagnant. Now we can talk about dynamics we can talk about crescendoing, but it is energizing. So even when you're singing softly, born, it's still energy. It's not really a crescendo necessarily unless you make it more overt. Yes? Okay, good. We have to move on. This is an awesome piece though. Let's do the look, if you don't mind. Okay, now, these hays are awesome. By the way, outstanding piano accompaniment. Thank you so much. And when the accompanist is supportive with this difficulty level of piano playing, you are thankful for an accompanist who gets it, who knows what to do, when to come out and when to back away. Lovely, lovely work. Could we give them 2 measures right at the beginning? Is everybody singing the hey at the beginning?
It is.
Okay, because I looked and I saw it looked like everybody's mouth was moving, which is fine, no problem. Yeah, now those heys have to have some character. You know what's coming up. Strephon kissed me in the spring. You know what's coming up. So can we get a little coquettish Robin in the fall? But Colin only looked at me and never kissed at all. Are you upset about that? Maybe a little bit. Okay, now we can go overboard. I want you to discreetly think about that as you perform. 2 measures. 2 measures. Nice. Yeah. Bring the volume down. Eyes. Yes. You saw that, right? You saw a major difference in presentation. Do you think that counts? Of course it does. And you know what? You rehearse so that you can do it in performance. When you may be thinking, I got to solo the next 2 songs away I have a solo. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm going to save my voice, but here and then. You want to be sure you're doing everything that you have rehearsed. So you do this in the classroom and you do it out on the concert stage. I am thrilled to say that they were able to internalize that so quickly. That's really, really good. Now, this is a powerful group of singers. I think you can get a little softer because, as my teacher used to say to me, we don't impress with our loud sounds. We impress with our soft sounds. And the most important things that we say to one another in life is not screamed. It's usually spoken very softly, right? Let's go to the Hagen. I think we can get a lot softer on these softer moments here so that by the time we get to the ending, it is absolutely, the audience is out of their seats, right? You have to know you're thinking from the beginning of the song to wherever the climactic moment is. I am building to that point every time. Now, what is this poetry about? Ma'am.
A girl exploring this vast new world of wonder.
What? Did you see how she did that? That's what we need to see. Now, some of the words are a little bit symbolic. What is a tarn? A big cave, yes, Well, is that right? I can't remember what a tarn is. I just did this piece in December, and I can't remember what a tarn is. So I would be writing that in my music, but so deep in the tarn, it says mezzo forte, but I always knocked it back to mezzo piano. Yeah, because I wanted it more misterioso, like it's written. You know, and then gleamed, and don't give it your loudest forte. You can do forte, you can do forte plus, you can do forte minus. Does that make any kind of sense to you? Okay, so I would even write that way. Let's do that, and then she leaned. When we get to that spot, a lot softer from everybody because it's unison, right? And we know about unison. What did I say?
We have talked about these dynamics in
Yeah.
this place specifically, and I think with this group of people, we performed this with 102 people in January. And I think that we don't need to compensate and try to be that big variety, because we're not. We're only 50-something now. So it's okay to sing quiet.
Yeah, and you know, it's bad that I know this piece pretty well because then I'm like, oh, that could have gone softer. You know, and like I said, it was a snapshot. So let's see if we can change that. And do you think it should be mezzo forte plain, mezzo forte minus, mezzo forte plus right at the beginning? The introduction that you get tells the tale, right? You get, would you mind playing the introduction? and then sing what he plays. Would you mind conducting? Less. Excellent. Next entrance, let's go. Yeah. Don't sing any louder than that. We can continue. Yeah. I've got 0 minutes. Tell the story. She's conducting the music. The music she's conducting. Yes, and I've got to go. That is gorgeous conducting. And she's telling you exactly what to do with your voice, if you'll let her. Okay? She, a good conductor can pull the dynamic right out of people. Yeah, and you can't do anything else. And I've talked too much, but what a great ensemble this is.